Hey plant fans, today on the In Bloom Plant Show, you're going to be learning with me as we start the long but rewarding journey of growing cactus from seed. So this is going to be the first in a series of videos as we start with cactus seeds and hopefully we'll end up with mature cactus. I've never done this before, but I've done some research on the internet and hopefully you and I can both learn through my successes and failures. Let's get growing. So first things first, let's see what we need to get started with this project. The first three things are the soil components. We're going to be mixing our own soil because the commercial cactus soils often are really poor at draining. We talked about a little bit that in our last video. So we're going to be making our own. First thing is coir or cocoa coir. It's coconut husk that's been, I don't know what they do to it, but they basically put it into bricks. You can buy it at plant stores or if not there at pet stores, and it's usually sold as like reptile bedding or something like that. The next thing is perlite, and this is a mineral. It's very light. It almost feels like packing peanuts, but it's going to help our soil drain. So it's super important. You can definitely find this at plant stores, although don't get it mixed up with vermiculite, which kind of does the opposite. It absorbs and releases water slowly, while perlite lets water flow over it. We're going to use sand as well. Sand's really easy to find. Plant store, hardware store, the internet probably. And we're going to be planting in these Tupperware containers. I'm using these rather than a pot, which you can also use because these are a little bit easier to see into, and it'll make for a good filming. And also we're going to microwave the soil to sterilize it before we put the seeds in later. So these are microwave safe, so that's a good thing to think about. If you do use these, you're going to need to drill holes in the bottom. I did that with a very small drill bit at first and then sizing up. You could probably also use a hammer and nails if you don't have a drill, but these are surprisingly kind of hard to get through. So that was a bit of a challenge. You'll need Ziploc bags, and the purpose of the Ziploc bags is to lock in the moisture for the first couple months while the seeds are germinating. You'll also need something to label with, so you can use tape and a Sharpie because a super important part of this process is going to be staying organized. We also have a label maker that we're using, so if you have one of these, great. If not, doesn't matter. And also a very important thing is a journal that you're going to enjoy writing in, so get something that you like for all your plant projects and all your hobbies really. And you're going to be taking down all sorts of information in here so you don't lose track of when you planted and you don't lose track of which species are where, and it'll make things a lot easier down the road. So the next step after you've gathered your materials is going to be mixing the amount of soil components you need to get your desired ratio. So I'm trying 3 different ratios because I'm not sure what works best, and hopefully after the series comes out, we'll have actual experience, something to recommend to you about what does work. So I'm trying 3 different ratios. This first one is 60% sand, 20% perlite, and 20% coir. The second one is 33% of each component, and the third one is 25% sand, 25% perlite, and 50% coir. So that third one's going to have a little bit more organic matter than the other 2. And I'll put the ratios down in the description. Another important thing is these are volume measurements and not weight measurements, because obviously sand weighs way more than coir, so your ratios are going to be way off if you're using a scale. So I just used a cup measure. So after you've measured and mixed your soil components, you're going to want to water them, and this is going to be all the water they'll need for the first couple months of germination. So what I've done is I've just taken a plastic water bottle and poked a couple holes in the top. Hopefully you can see that, just with like a nail or something, I forget exactly, but it acts like a little watering can, which is helpful for really small containers. So make sure there's holes drilled in the bottom of your potters, and then water them, let them drain out, and then after that, the next step is to give the seeds as good of a chance as possible of germinating by reducing their competition. So we want to get rid of the fungus and microbes that are hanging around in the soil components you used. So what you can do is sterilize the soil through heat. And what I did is I just took each one of these containers with the lid loosely on. You don't want to put it tight because, I mean, it has holes in the bottom, but no matter what, you don't want pressure to build up. And I just microwaved them for 2 minutes and 30 seconds each. And that allows the water to boil, and it's going to kill off any microbes that your seeds will be competing with right after they germinate. So they should have a fairly easy time growing after sprouting. So far, we've mixed our soil components, we've added it to our planters, we've watered our planters and let them drain, we've sterilized our soil in the microwave, and now we're ready to sow the seeds. And the first species we're going to plant is Echinocactus grusonii. We have 1,000 of these seeds, and the common name for this cactus is golden barrel, so they're really common, and we have the most seeds of them out of any. The rest of the cactus we're going to plant, I only have 25 seeds of each of them, so I'm going to try to do 8 seeds in each planter here, and that should work out evenly so that we could tell if soil mix does or does not make a difference. And one technique I saw was using a sheet of paper, folding it in half, and then using the crease as like a track for the seeds to go down, so you can kind of get pretty good placement. So I'll show you with the Echinocactus grusonii. Try this out. So I'm going to try to load up about 24 seeds, but they're really small. And the thing with cactus seeds is they don't have a lot of stored energy. Like if you think about a larger seed, like a pumpkin seed or something like that, all of that extra size is stored energy. So they need to be planted very close to the surface of the soil because they need access to light quickly, because their energy reserves will run out very fast if they don't have access to light after they germinate. So here you see I'm just kind of pouring what I think is going to be about 25 on there. This might get a little inexact. It's just hard to deal with, but we're stumbling through. And I have the sections of these planters split up and numbered with tape on the sides here, so I know which species is planted where. So let's see how this goes. Okay, that's about 8 there. So we'll move on to the next one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's about 8 there. And the next one. Cool, that's about 8 there. It's kind of hard to tell because they're so small. All right, so that's all 3 for the Echinocactus grusonii, or golden barrels. Okay, next up we have seeds of Lithops leslii, which is a lithops, and these are commonly called living stones. I'll put a picture in the video so you can see, and they're among the smallest seeds that we're going to use today. I don't know if the cameras, yeah, you can see those. Here's my finger for comparison, so we're going to have to be real careful with these guys. And patience is key here, I'm finding out. Okay, there we go. First one down, I feel pretty good about that. And one thing I didn't mention, after you microwave to sterilize the soil, make sure that you let it cool down before you add the seeds. I don't know that it would do damage for a fact, but it wouldn't hurt to just have it at sort of a room temperature rather than hot. Haven't been this focused in a long time. 1. Oh wait, I don't know. But still got to be careful here. Every seed might matter. Could be the one to sprout, you know? You never know. Okay, awesome. Number 2 down. All right, our third species here, we got Mammillaria albicans. And here's a picture of what it might look like someday. And here's what it looks like now. Again, really small seeds on this guy. Maybe smaller than the lithops. I'm not sure. Hard to tell when things are at that scale. So here we go. Into the number 3 spot in all of our containers. Can kind of add the rest. I think that turns out to be 8. Oh, I got one. Man, I got one. It's totally stuck on the side of the container. I don't know if that'll sprout or not. Probably not. But, you know, what am I going to do? I don't even think I can do anything about it. So little. Cool. 3 out of 6. All right, so here we are with Opuntia phaeacantha. These are prickly pears, are their common name. They have green pads and typically yellow flowers. And finally, we are in big seed territory. I would estimate these guys are probably like 10 to 15 times bigger than the Mammillaria and the lithops we were just doing, which is quite nice to work with. There's a close-up for you, so you can see light looking, and you know, you might be thinking like, oh, why do cactus have such small seeds? You know, make them bigger, you probably have a better chance of sprouting. But one of the reasons is there's like a trade-off, right, between seed size and how many you can make. The plant can only put so many resources into reproduction, so some plants decide to take the approach of, I'm going to make 1 billion seeds and one of them's sure to, you know, pass on my information here. Or the Opuntia decide, I'm going to put a little more effort into making like a bigger seed. And that's my strategy. So it's kind of cool. There's different strategies and all of them work. But not everybody can have the same strategy, and that's why we have big cactus seeds and little cactus seeds. Let's see. I lost count here. Too busy talking. 1, 2. Oh, wow. So we have a couple extra. I'm going to try to just distribute them evenly between the 3 containers here. And maybe, you know, someday we'll be able to do a video on harvesting seeds from these cactus we grew from seeds in this series. That would be pretty cool. But, you know, I was reading, maybe we'll do a video on grafting too. I was reading that by grafting cactus, you can get them to like flowering maturity in like a year or something. I mean, it's way, way, way faster than just growing in the ground. So I got to get into that, figure out how that all works. And moving right along here, we're on to Echinocactus acanthoides. Acanthodes? There's no I between the O and the D, so I think it's acanthodes. I'm probably massively butchering all these names, by the way, so I'm just reading them. I haven't, you know, heard them spoken by anyone who knows what they're talking about, which would be helpful. These ones are kind of a medium size, really dark. And these cactus, I'll put a picture up, they have these really nice red spines on the ones that I was seeing, so that got me excited about planting them. Gotcha. Into the number 4 position. Excuse me, 5 position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alrighty, and that's that. Okay, and the final cactus species we are going to try to grow is Echinocactus straminius. And I was looking this one up. It's got these gorgeous pink flowers, so I was really excited about getting that going. Back down to the small seeds here. Got to be careful. 1, 2. It's hard to tell sometimes what's a seed, because I don't know, they're just so tiny, and then there's like small particles on there too. Good luck, but I highly recommend this paper method's been treating me well, especially since most of these cactus seeds are small and dark. So, you know, it'd be hard to tell if you got it mixed up. And I think that is that. So our seeds are sown. We have all 6 species planted in each of the different soil mixtures. So we're entering the final stage here. We've sown our seeds in our containers, and now I want to put plastic wrap over the tops rather than the lids, because these lids are blue and I feel like that's not going to let the light get to them very well. So I was thinking plastic wrap would be good. So now you get to see my greatest shame, my inability to use plastic wrap. Let's see how we do. But overall, I think today went really smoothly. Got all the seeds in about the right place. I'm feeling really good about the chances here. So maybe I should have prepped for this or something. I didn't study. Here we go. See if that's wide enough. Oh yeah, what I'm talking about. And then I'm just gonna try to get a really nice tight seal on this bad boy. Hopefully lock the water in and everything. And once the plastic wrap is on, throw them in a Ziploc bag. Then we'll squeeze all the air out of the bag. And this is kind of a crucial moment here, because I feel like if I were to make a mistake, all the seeds would go everywhere. We would have no idea what's what. And all our years of planning and research are ruined. So let's not mess this up. That works better. Okay, 1 for 1. So here we go, squeeze the air out. And seeds need a couple things to germinate for conditions. They need the right amount of water, the right amount of light, and the right amount of humidity. So hopefully we nailed the water aspect. Sorry, the right amount of water, the right amount of light, and the right amount of heat. So hopefully we nailed the water aspect. The light aspect, we have some grow lights here. You can also use a sunny windowsill. I just thought that we have the shelf open and it would give a consistent amount of light, so we could, it's just another variable we can take out of the equation, is they're all getting the same amount of light. As far as temperature goes, our house, it's winter here, so our house is running between 65 and 75 degrees, depending if it's day or night. I was reading seeds like 70 to 90 for germination. So we're kind of on the low end. I was thinking, I might still do this. I was thinking about going and getting a reptile enclosure heater and putting that just under this, just to give those seeds a bit of a boost. So we'll see. I will keep you updated on that. You'll get to watch them grow up with us, and we get to make the mistakes for you instead of having you make the mistakes. So that's a huge plus. And it's just, I don't know, it's fun to learn. You gotta learn in your life all the time, or else you're just staying in place. So trying new things, learning new stuff. Double check that everything's labeled in your journal. Although, I think if I were to do this again, maybe I would just go with a lot of one species, but I wanted to do something interesting, so that, because it's my first time, so maybe we're doing this more of like a shotgun approach and just seeing what works. But I think one species, you might get a better idea for the effect of soil, and a lot of seeds is what you would want, I think. So this is still a really cool experiment, I think, to look at, and I'm sure we'll learn a ton. All right, last piece of plastic wrap here. Got it. I don't quite have the order of this right. Okay. Also, my inability to open Tupperware containers is showing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've ever planted cactus from seed or know more than me, please post in the comments down there. Let me know what your thoughts are. Or if you're planning on planting some cactus, let me know what seeds you're using. And later on, if it goes well, let me know what technique you used, how it worked for you. We would also love feedback on the videos. Let us know how we're doing, how we can improve. This hopefully was an improvement from the last one. We got an upgrade in sound quality, so we're super excited about that. And we will definitely have more videos coming soon, including some in this series on growing cactus from seed, although those might be a month or two out because this is a long process. I expect these to be ready maybe sometime in March. It's mid-January right now, so I think March or April. we might start to see these guys sprouting up, but we'll be sure to update you as soon as that happens. In the meantime, we got a bunch more stuff planned. It's all going to be up on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe if you want to keep updated on what we're doing here at In Bloom Plant Co. And we really appreciate you watching. Thanks.